Hello guys and welcome back to the second tutorial on making a third-person character controller. In last video we made the character move when we press WASD and the arrow keys. And now we want the camera to follow him around and also be able to rotate the camera whenever we see fit. As I said in the previous video, all the code will be in the description, so if you want you could just grab it from there and skip to the part where we adjust the values of the camera script. Or you can follow along with this video so you have a better understanding of how everything works. Let's begin with creating a new C# script that I will call camera follow. In here we need a public vector3 variable that will store our camera's offset. Then in the lateUpdate method, which executes after the update method of our player, where we move our character, we want the camera's position to change to the new player position plus the offset that we will adjust later on. So let's add a public transform that we will assign to our player in the inspector. And now we can set the camera's position to be equal to the player's position plus the offset of our choice. Back in the editor, we need to attach the camera follow script and drag the player from the scene to the player transform variable of our script. Now we can hit play to adjust our camera's offset in real time and make sure it looks good. After we're happy with the offset, we need to copy our script component, then exit out of play mode and paste our component's values on our script to fill all of the variables with the correct data. Now you can stop here if this is all you need for your game, but I want to make the camera rotate when I press E and Q so that I can see better in different situations. To do that we need to have 4 offsets instead of 1, because when we rotate the camera around its axis, the player will no longer be centered in our view with our previous offset. So what we need to do is change the offset as well. The easiest way to do this is to have an offset for facing east, west, north and south. Of course, if you want you can take the time to make this part of the script a bit more complicated, if you want for example a smooth rotation, or maybe you need the camera to rotate in any direction, not just these 4. But for me, simply rotating by 90 degrees is going to be enough. We will also need a string that we will check to see what is our current position and find out what should be our next position after rotating. And now, depending on the value of our facing string, we will switch between the offset that we use when changing the position of the camera. Next, let's add a normal update method in which we will check for the player's input that will rotate the camera left and right. In my case, I will use E and Q for rotating. In the rotate methods, we will simply change the value of our facing string depending on its current value. So for example, if I press E and I want to rotate the camera by 90 degrees, if I'm currently facing north, I want the facing string to change to east. If it's east, it needs to change to south. If it's south to west, and west goes back to north. For the other rotating method, it's the opposite. And before all of that, let's not forget to rotate the camera. Now let's go back to the editor and set all of the offsets accordingly, the same way we did it last time. I will hit play, adjust the north offset, then rotate the camera, adjust the east offset, and so on. Finally, don't forget to copy the values of the script and paste them while the game is not running. Now, even though our camera script is working as designed, the gameplay feels a bit weird and confusing when we rotate the camera in a direction other than the default one. This is because our player movement script doesn't take into consideration the camera's rotation, and even though for us visually forward is in a different direction, the player movement script will keep moving the character according to the world's forward direction instead of our perspectives. But don't worry, to fix this we need to make only a few minor changes to our player movement script. First, we will need a reference to our camera's transform, so add that to the list of variables at the top. Next, where we calculate the rotate angle, we need to add the camera's Y rotation at the end. Finally, we need to change how we calculate our final move direction. Also, don't forget to add the gravity again. Now simply drag the camera from the scene to the player's script and we're done. The third-person character controller now has a camera following around the player. If you liked this video and found it useful, please leave a like and consider subscribing for all kinds of game dev and gaming related content. Also check out my devlogs playlist where I'm trying to build my dream PvP arena game, if that's the sort of stuff you're interested in. I'll probably need playtesters when I get closer to having a finished game, so stay tuned for that when it happens. In any case, thanks again for watching and have a wonderful rest of your day.